What's going on? It's your boy Bowie back at it again. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about the game. As always, this is about Mortal Kombat 1, about a game that I adore and a franchise that I have loved ever since I was a small child and I didn't have this voice. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to talk a little bit about some small little adjustments that I would make to each of my main characters. Now, by no means am I calling for an overhaul or a series of buffs, except for one character, which you probably already know who that is. If you've been following this channel for any amount of time, I'm going to get to him soon. But, you know, as I'm playing these characters and playing against people and things of that nature, you know, it's just things that I notice about the characters that I think would be, you know, tweaks or quality of life fixes for each of them. You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to hear your responses to such tweaks, and if you can think of tweaks for your own characters. All right, so I'm gonna start with the ladies that I play. You know, I had to talk about Sindel's daughters, Katana and Melina, because I play them both and I love them both. Okay, but I'm gonna start with Katana. Okay, so one of the first initial tweaks that I would make for Katana is I'd like an increase in her backwards walking speed. Now, she does dash really well backwards, as you can see. You know, her wave dash is pretty damn nice, to be honest with you. But, you know, as far as her actual walking speed, it's a little bit on the slow side. And I think a character like her that relies heavily on whiff punishing, she needs a really rapid backwards walk speed that's not predicated on her dash blocking. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a nice little quality of life change for her. Okay. One other quality of life change that I think she really needs is with her standing 2. Now, let's not get it twisted. This button right here is the bomb, bruh, because it leads to her most damaging string. You know what I'm saying? And you can always do this, and that's 0 on block. And it's great for staggers, and she has a nice follow-up and things of that nature. But one other crazy use for stand 2 with her is this button's a crazy anti-air. Look at that. Huh? I can just do this whenever, you know? Look at that. So this button's a fantastic anti-air, but there's one problem. As good of an anti-air as this is, it's kind of tough to link into things. Now, the thing that I came up with was this. Hold on. You know, so this is my go-to anti-air. But I would like to be able to follow up with stand 2-4 more reliably. But the problem that I see is that stand 2 just has a bunch of recovery on it. Let me go to this frame data here. Yeah, you see that? It's got 25 frames of recovery. Now, that's actually on the lower side because a lot of her other moves have way more recovery. Hell, even her stand 1 has 25 frames of recovery, which is a long time to be recovering from. And I get it. They didn't want her to be too rapid. You know, they wanted her to be a more slower paced, deliberate character, which I can dig, you know. but I don't think it could hurt for some of these recovery frames to be shaved off. Shaved off, excuse me. That way we could do stand 2 and then follow up with other things. Wait, hold on now. Oh, I didn't even try that before. Like, I'd like to be able to, you know, follow up more reliably with certain things. You know. You see how, like, tough that is to, like, follow up? So I'd like to be able to do stand 2 into, like, stand 2 into back 2 would be really nice. You know what I'm saying? Or stand 2 into standing 4. It's technically possible. But you have so much recovery on stand 2 that, you know, how do you stop this? Okay. Yeah, so that would be something that would be very nice for her. Also, one other thing, and this is probably the thing I would want the most for her. Let me see. I want her to block. Stands hold duck. So, Katana is a whiff punishing Footsie's character. You see, look how far away she can hit people from. Back 2 and back 2-4 is a fantastic string for her. But there's only one problem with it, as far as I can see. Now, the string is safe, and that's perfectly fine. But look at where it leaves Katana. She is right here, -5, in the opponent's face after hitting this. This is her Footsie String. So, what's been happening to me is after I do this string, I'm getting thrown. Just as soon as someone blocks this, I get thrown. And that's really bad for a Footsie-based mid-range character. You know what I'm saying? And you can special cancel into this, but you know, her only real safe special cancel would be into this Jax cameo, which is nice, but there's a big ass gap in between here. People poke out of this, and when they poke, then my Jax is gone for a while. You see what I'm saying? Now, could I use other cameos to cover this, like Goro or Cyrax? Yes, I could, but then I lose the utility of being able to get my follow-up. Though, as I think about it now, I have not tried Cyrax with Katana. That could be the move. I don't know. But anyway, ideally, I want the 4 in back 2-4 to have this kind of pushback right here. This is her standing 3. Look how much pushback that has. You see what I'm saying? I don't even need them to need NRS to change no frame data. Just give me some pushback so I can kind of be at Footsie range again after this is blocked. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that would be too much. She can still be -5. Hell, you can even increase the unsafe frames to like -7 if you want. Fine, to compensate for the pushback, but it's the pushback that's important. You know what I'm saying? Because standing 4 has that much pushback and it's -7. Stand 3 has mega pushback and it's -2. So having this string be that far away on block, I think would be a really nice move for Katana. You know? Otherwise, I don't want nothing else for her. She's good. There's people out there saying that she's kind of weak. I completely disagree. Old girl's good as hell. All right, so let's talk about Mileena now. So Mileena's good as hell. As good as Katana is, Mileena's just a little bit better because this string right here is crazy. This string is bananas. This mid is off the hook. This overhead is an armor breaker and it's safe and it's unreactable. Stand 3 is off the hook. Like, the girl's good, man. She's good as a motherfucker. Even though her projectiles don't go full screen, she doesn't need them to because she can keep you at bay and aggravate the hell out of you with them. So she's good there. But Mileena has these strings that end with these grabs. So notice I did 1, 2, and grab. Now, this string's great, but the grab comes out in 30 frames. And then she has another one, same idea. 2, 1, grab. The grab comes out in roughly 25 frames. And it side switches. This particular grab has a brutality associated with it. Pretty ill brutality, you know what I'm saying? What I suggest for Mileena is that these grab string enders, they need to come out faster. Like, way faster. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, that particular grab is unsafe on block. No, it's not. Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, make it come out faster, but instead of it being massively gappable or whatever, but safe, make it come out with virtually no gap or maybe a small gap, but then it's like -7 on block. You know what I'm saying? That way people can mash and get their offense if they block it correctly. Because really what I want for this is to be a nice little combo ender. You know what I'm saying? So let's say she does that and then ends with that. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, maybe I just have to do scan. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I think that would be pretty nice for her. That way she can get a knockdown. Puts her right next to the opponent. Right in range for this mid, you know? Same thing for this. I mean, that pushes far away, but there's no reason why the grab is so slow. Like, you cannot end combos with this. And it'd be very nice if she could, you know? In conjunction with that, hold on. I would like for her air side, that move right there, this, to have much less pushback during a combo. Hold on. That way I can follow up with stand 4 or stand 3 or 2-1 much easier. See, I'd like to be able to do that as a thing. I think that'd be dope. But you can't do it because the grab part is too slow. And this pushes the opponent way too far back. And so having this have less pushback in the air, I think would be fantastic. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I would do for these two. Because these lovely ladies are very good in the game. They don't need much. And even with the proposed changes to both of them, Katana's not going to go up an entire tier just because she has more pushback on her footsie string. But it would stop her from getting blown up for using a good-ass tool. You know what I'm saying? Or it would take something that was already kind of good and make it great. That's what I would want for the two of these, for these two ladies. Now let's talk about two more of my mains coming up now. General Xiao and Johnny Cage. These characters are pretty good, especially that damn Cage. I know he looks like a forest tree right now, but it's all good, you know what I'm saying? He will chop your ass down if you let him. But as far as General Xiao is concerned, I have a couple of changes for him. One of which could potentially really do some major work for him. But the other one is just a tweak. So, for one, this projectile startup is way long. It's good. It's a good projectile. And so I understand why they made it wind up quite a bit. But why even have it if 90% of the time you're going to get hit while trying to do this? You see what I'm saying? And I don't know what the purpose of it being a low is for, because you can't combo into it like at all. And the EX will allow you to launch, but who's going to let you do this? How are you going to land this? Unless you like use a cameo. But even then, what kind of cameo is going to let you give you the time to do that? Unless it's like a freeze. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I propose a little bit of a speed up to this, because I believe it starts up in 40 frames. Let's see. Why did it not save my save data, bruh? Or my frame data, bruh? Save this. Okay. Actually, let me make it remember my settings. Yes. Alright. So, yeah, it starts up in 40 frames. We need to tone that down just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe 30 or mid-30s. Something. Because I don't need for him to, like, be able to machine gun these. But I do want people to have to worry about it a little bit. Or at the very least, speed this one up, because this one's 40 frames also. Like, what the hell? Come on. So, another thing is this mid of his. He has a mid string, and it leads to an overhead. It's good. I like it. I like it. But what is the purpose of this mid being so slow if all it does is lead to a knockdown? Now, you can cancel into it, yes. But that's a single normal. You know what I'm saying? There's no hit confirming this. You're just raw dogging this out and hoping that it hits. And considering that it, let me see what kind of, stance hold. I'll make it, no. Considering it's -6 on block, which makes it safe, but gives you high negative frames, you know. I don't see any reason that this mid can't be sped up. It's 14 frames, and I don't see any reason why it can't be sped up to like 12. Or even, you know, 10 frames. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't lead to anything. You literally can just do it. I mean, it's a fantastic footsie tool, but given the fact that you can't special cancel off of the string and it leads to a knockdown, I see no reason why this needs to be so slow. Especially considering it's his only, you know, mid-starting string. I mean, you got this mid already, but it's 26 frames. His sweep is piss poor. Ugh. Horrible sweep. This is not a mid. This is a high attack. I'm somewhat disappointed that this is not a mid, but I also think that if this were a mid, he'd be busted as hell. So I understand why they did that. You know. And maybe I need to use more of this, because this does starts up in 10 frames. But this is so good, so you know. But then the third change that I think would be major is the change to this axe, because right now it comes back very fast, and I would like for it to be down for longer. If you want to be really ballsy, I would make it to where Shao Kahn has to call it back. Otherwise, it just stays here. You know what I'm saying? Because if they make this change, they don't even have to do nothing else. Because these normals are off the hook here. But why even learn how to use them? Because the axe is gonna be out for, you know, on the ground for all of 2 seconds, you know, before it just comes back to you automatically, and now you have the slower normals. So I'm thinking, oh, that's plus. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know anything about these normals, because what point is there in trying to learn to use them when the axe is going to be in your hand, like, immediately? You know what I'm saying? So this axe chop, I feel like, needs to be on the ground a lot longer. You know, 1.5 times to maybe 2 times longer. I think that'll be good for him. Okay, Johnny Cage. Does Cage really need anything? I mean, this boy's kind of ridiculous. I only have one thing for Cage. This string right here. Is there any reason why that second hit has to start up so goddamn slow? It starts up in 38 frames. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet you can jab between that. Actually, I'm curious about that now. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, you can jab right between that. Ridiculous. A 10 frame normal can almost trade with it. Yeah. You have an 8 frame gap at least to be able to jab through that. You know what I'm saying? And that's not something that I found out prior to this. That's something that I just now tested live and direct. I didn't know that there was that big of a gap in that string. So, yeah, let's decrease this gap, please, so that people can't do moves through this. Because this string is really, really plus on block, and that's good for him. And it adds to his, you know, it adds to his repertoire, so to speak, right? And that's fine. But by the same token, oh, it makes people stand up. That's interesting. Didn't know that. But what incentive do people have? Oh, that's already +5, though. That's really nice. Yeah. So if this had less of a gap, that'd be fantastic. I can see why they didn't do that, because it's +15. And that would make Cage, like, really, really, really strong. But perhaps in exchange for getting rid of the gap, they lose some of this block advantage. So maybe it's +7 instead of +15 or +8 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That way you have enough time to do a forward 3, and they got to respect it, because otherwise they die. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm just now noticing that Cage has a 4-4 string, just like he had in MK9. I told you this game was MK9 all over again. But there is one more character that I play so far. One character that I've been saving. Y'all know who the hell I'm talking about. Yo, this motherfucker right here. This motherfucker here. SubZero, he needs some help. He needs somebody to help him. Because my boy got over-nerfed. Drastically over-nerfed from his beta status. And here's the thing. If Raiden, Baraka, Ashra, Melina, and certain other characters like Reiko and other characters whom I'm not thinking about right now didn't exist in this game, and the most that SubZero had to deal with was characters like Katana and characters like Rain, I probably wouldn't even care as much about him being nerfed. But when I see Baraka getting 50% off of a touch, I see Raiden getting 40% and above meterlessly off of a touch, when I see Ashra having 4 hits of armor on her wake up and getting crazy amounts of damage and having a plus on block projectile and having all the things, it makes me really upset that SubZero, of all characters, had to get his stuff nerfed. You know what I'm saying? That cannot stay. Cannot stand. Okay, so what are we changing about Sub? Well, stance hold, yeah. So for one, we need to remove these goddamn gaps. The gaps in 1, 2, 2. All them gaps need to go. This gap needs to go. This gap needs to go. We can keep this gap. That's fine. This gap has got to go. There's no reason why people can armor through this, or through this, or through this. No reason. This is Sub's only mid. Why are we armoring through his only mid? It already got slowed down. People already can low profile it. Why do they need to armor through it too? You know what I'm saying? Also, why is this string unsafe? There's no need for this string to be unsafe and have a gap. You might as well not even use this unless you have a Sonya cameo to launch and get a combo from it. But there's a massive gap in the 3rd hit of this. And there's massive gaps all over his strings. Those gaps got to go. They have got to go. He shouldn't be armored through simply for living. And here's the thing. You don't even need a special character to armor through. You can do it as a cameo. Let me see here. I'm just going to try something. Playback. Hold on. Oh, I'm doing Frost. Hold on. I'm being dumb. Blech. Hold on. I'm being silly. Let me try that again. Sorry. Bruh. Look at that. Look at that. You can do that with a cameo. With a cameo, you can armor. You can armor SubZero strings for no meter. Look at that. Does that make sense? I think that's wrong. Let's do another one. Look at that. As soon as he does anything, it's like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You could just negate his whole offense. I don't care. Does that seem right to y'all? That doesn't seem right to me. Look at that. It just doesn't matter. He gets nullified for doing anything. You see what I'm saying? Let me try forward 1, 2. Hold on. Wait, hold on. I want to do it just, okay. Are you going to play that one? Or, let's see. Oh, interesting. Hold on. Okay, maybe you can't armor through that. Thank God you can't armor through that string. So I take back what I said about being able to armor through forward 1-2. But you definitely can armor through the rest. This definitely has a gap the size of Manhattan. But given the fact that this is his only mid, why is it -7? Why is it not like -4? You know what I'm saying? It's his only mid. It got slowed down. People can low profile it. Look at that. Oh, I just beat it. Actually, subs down 3 is damn good. Jesus Christ. Look at that. No, I'm out of range. Let me be within range. Okay. Yeah, look at that. I couldn't imagine doing that to Johnny Cage. So, yeah. There's no reason for his normals to be so bad. Especially considering that this move got nerfed the most. The ice clone. How do I get rid of this thing that's on here? Can I, like, get rid of that? No, I guess it stays. Alright, but anyway. So, ice clone. Look at that recovery. It has 43 frames of recovery. That needs to be slowed down dramatically. Okay? Also, it takes a long time before you can clone again. And I know that they did that to satisfy the legions of people online crying about SubZero, but that's ridiculous. That cooldown needs to be cut in half. The recovery needs to be shaved off by quite a fair bit. I would probably put the recovery to somewhere within the realm of 30 to 25 frames. Not because I want to be able to safely do this, you know, but simply because I'd like to be able to do something, you know. Let me see. Look at that. That's not possible. Being able to do ice clone into reversal slide. You see what I'm saying? You can't reversal slide somebody into clone. And I understand you can combo from this. So that's already strong as is. But considering what Raiden can do, considering what Baraka can do, considering what Ashra can do, considering what Melina can do, considering what Reiko can do, considering what so many of these other stronger characters can do, I see no reason to keep SubZero so pure and clean, especially given how he was hoed in the story, you know. Yeah. And then one last thing. EX clone does not need to be 2 bars, bruh. That move's not that good. It's not so good that it's worth the 2 bars you gotta spend in order to do it. I mean, at first it seems that way, but look at that recovery. The recovery's mad high. And it doesn't stay out long enough to be that good. Like, the cost of you doing that is not worth it. Like, you don't get twice the reward of a regular EX move for doing this. So there's no need. You see what I'm saying? So EX clone needs to be 1 bar. Alright? So Those are the changes I have for SubZero. Basically, I want him to be around the same power level as everybody else. Whatever y'all do, you know, whatever level other characters are allowed to be at in this game, I want SubZero to be there too. You dig what I'm saying? So with that, let's get to the conclusion of this video. Yeah, so all in all, most of my characters are pretty good, with the exception of Sub. Sub needs some love. I want him to be as good as everybody else. Now, unlike with Player One Advantage, I'm not going to sit there and demand that you guys tear down NRS's Twitter or knock on their doors and demand these changes, because these are sort of selfish things that I hope that they do. If you want to, you know, appeal on my behalf to NRS to get these changes, please feel free to do so. I ain't gonna stop you, you know what I'm saying? But I know better than to try to weaponize the power of the community for my own selfish ends, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's grimy, so I would never ask to do that. But, you know, I just wanted to start a little discussion, see what you guys think. Maybe y'all disagree. I want to hear about it in these comments. Also, this is a kind of a lengthier video. I don't know if, you know, y'all like that kind of thing. Maybe you want my videos to be shorter. Maybe you don't mind this longer form stuff. Let me know that too. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching. Stay tuned for more content. Peace.